Somnus coming in as well. As Ana, Seb look to hide in the trees. Can they get out of it? Ana's got a TP available. He's into the trees. He's going to show himself in the lane though. They're going to continue to head over. They are going to see Seb make it out in time. They don't have a stun. Ana, can he get out as well? He can. OG will avoid that rotation from PSG LGD.
FY is just so obnoxious there, following Seb for over a minute, just stalking him, trying to have his team come over.
So that's about, a minute without Aegis being used for LGD. They have 2 minutes left, I would say, to capitalize on this Aegis. Oh man, looks like he is level the PL.
Pretty much back to a 50-50. PSG LGD 2-1 up at the moment in this best of 5 grand finals. 1 game needed to secure the championship title. And at this point, they are ahead here in game 4.
N0tail hasn't had time to gather a full army of Ancient Creeps. Right now, he just has the Ancient Black Dragon. You really want those other auras when you're at a big disadvantage in the team fights already.
Yeah, it's tough though, because Jerax doesn't want to be following around his Chen, giving him the Aghanim, so. As Thompson, he does have a Lincoln Sphere picked up, and they should have the BKB finished on Seb too. So that'll give him a little bit easier time to get those Blink calls as he's been suffering to do so in the last few fights. And Somnus, I've Scotty picked up, about to be level 25 as well.
Yeah, they just need a couple more minutes on the side of OG before they're ready to fight. Wait for Aegis to expire.
Seb, he's in, gets the call, the character's going to get FY, there with the snowball save. He's going to be fine, and now they turn to look towards the axe. The taunt's going to be out. Seb goes for the TP. They've got the stun to cancel though. Seb held back for now. Thompson trying to offer his best from the side to provide some sort of safety, as he will get Seb back. They're able to get Seb back to safety, and Thompson, he's running away. Xnova's there with the wraparound, gets the slow off, gives the vision for the snowball. TP from N0tail's coming in towards the shrine, but Thompson, he's trapped.
That's twice in the series that Xnova just comes out of nowhere. Like, he's just on a warding expedition, then he just ends up wrapping behind these people constantly.
Perfect time.
Perfect timing, and has the Senton creep to boot. And look at these deep wards that he's placed during that time that he was running around doing so. He now has full vision of OG. Yeah, he sees Ana farming these Ancients right now.
Oh, Ana. FY just giving so much information for the team. He's got eyes on him. Get the punch on the wrong target, but the snowball pass will catch Ana. Ana, he's in trouble. The blood bright silence connects. He's got the matchup back up in a second, but can he really play his way out of this one? He cannot. Ana down for a minute and a half.
Just having all this vision. And Xnova throughout this whole tournament has had the best vision in every situation, even when you wouldn't expect it. They're just like, oh, they're fighting on the left side. They're not going to have vision over here. But no, Xnova always seems to have those prepared in every situation.
And he has some incredible foresight to be able to have these wars that just lead to really clutch pickoffs. And Axe has not spent his money on BKB. He has the money, but he might be looking to save for buyback.
We'll see if any of the buybacks do get forced out. Thompson's still dead for 15. Ideally, he doesn't buy back here. They may have to buy back on Ana. He's gone for 50 seconds. The split coming out from Chalice. He's ready to push in, look for the stun on N0tail to hold back the Chen as the mid-racks are exposed. PSG LGD, 40 minutes in, able to open into the base and clean out this mid lane of racks. Still Ana holding on to that buyback.
And they're going to keep going here. They really want to force this PL to come back here.
Stun onto Thompson. He will blink dodge it. But another tier 3 tower falling incredibly fast. They really don't want to use it. Seb jumps in, gets the call onto FY. There's the buyback. The Cataclysm isn't enough to do anything. It isn't. PSG LGD still fighting strong. Thompson getting focused by Somnus. Seb taken down by Arme. The triple buybacks now out as Ana in trouble. He's pulled back for this one. The deafening blast after the 3 of them knocks them back. But Ana gets focused. Seb! He's in with the call. He has the control onto the morphing Somnus. Now being chased by Thompson. Blinks in with the cold snap. The PL army's on top of it. They get Somnus too. As OG, they have to expend 3 buybacks, but they hold on to the top racks. Somnus now down for 2 minutes. No buyback available on this Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he's 400 gold short of it. It's up in about 8 seconds. OG, they have to make so much happen here. They have to push out all their lanes. 2 of the side lanes are already going, but I think trying to get some kills here, like on FY here, would be very ideal.
I mean, look how close the Brew is at 25. I mean,
so close.
With that primal split cooldown.
Oh, Thompson, he sees it FY. He's used the snowball, he turns with the combo FY with the self-fuels, but OG, they've surrounded him. Seb jumps in with the call, the blade mail, FY's gone.
Instant buyback from FY.
Still that scary, scary time for LGD. 75 seconds without Somnus. OG have the full 5-man pushing in all 3 lanes at the same time as they approach LGD's base.
I don't even know if I give a head for this team fight. The LGD are bold, but no blood take up to 60 seconds. This could be disastrous.
He's got a full BKB on Seb as well.
Chalice really wants to hit level 25 before he pops that primal split. So close.
Just got to be careful, Seb. Looking for that blink initiation.
Chalice is stepping back. Grabs, they give him the tome. He needed like 5 experience and they gave him the tome just to make sure that he gets it anyway. Just playing as safe as possible here.
Looks like OG don't feel that the window is big enough for them to push in whilst this Bloodseeker's still dead. They'll back away.
They can't count. They fought back 3 heroes. They weren't able to get any T3s, and there's no Roshan up yet. Big Daddy No-Tail's praying for a Roche right now so they can get that refresher, but it's not going to be up. And maybe we'll dodge a bullet.
At least they got a good amount of economy off that, right? It was up to a 15k gold advantage, and they chunked it down to 7, same thing with experience. So they did get quite a lot out of that one, but they ideally wanted to get at least one of those sets of racks to get some momentum pushing in with those 3 buybacks used.
Absolutely, it is this really scary moment of the game now for OG. We're about 5-6 minutes still without those buybacks available. If PSG LGD can find that one team fight, it could be the team fight to win TI in this window of time that they now have presented to themselves.
Anna's gone full in for that butterfly too. As they pick up also an Aeon discount Jeremy, so protected in O. DD did spawn, however, was killed.
It's also pretty scary for Maybe right now. He only has a 5-second BKB, and he does a lot of damage and will get wrecked by the X-Blade Mail. If he finds it, BKB now, there's not that many ways to stop him.
It's just all about FY and Chalice, right? Just either saving or just getting into the mid.
Dire team ban.
For our 3rd series of the night between Adroit and RR, and oh my god, it's John Xfire. John, welcome back, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Power came back. That was a bit unfortunate, but I did catch the tail end of the last series. That was quite the performance from Fnatic, and unfortunately, our Adroit, you've mentioned it a couple of times, it's not any easier. The Adroit has, on the head-to-head up against Reality Rift, they've won basically every single match this year. Like every single series Adroit and R have played, Adroit have won. So they've got to kind of figure out what Adroit wants to do and counteract that. It is showing a bit in the draft. The Chen ban is big. That is something Adroit has run multiple times on CML. I think they've run it to great effect, and we saw what it did in the previous series against RR. So at the very least, they don't have to deal with that this time around. There are still a lot more heroes Adroit could bring out, but it does feel like Reality Rift does understand somewhat what Adroit does to make them tick.
It's going to be hard, right? I mean, you talked about the previous history. Adroit pretty much has won almost every single matchup in the RR. I mean, they've just come off an 0-2 loss. Both games ending in a total of, I believe, less than 45 minutes.
Oh.
By the way, John. Yeah, Fnatic just destroyed them that last series, and we'll see what they can do. I am kind of shocked to see RR actually banning out the SF themselves. I thought maybe they'd go back to that for Alacrity because that's one of his signature heroes, but they opt to just not want to deal with it this game around. But we only have one more ban before we do get to see the actual draft start. But John, you know, I'm curious, what happened anyway with your power outage? Well, a citywide power outage happened apparently.
Yeah, I wish I knew, but something must have blown in the main line. The only thing I could get from the power company was there was an emergency power outage and they were working on it. Yeah, they did move a bit faster. It could have been worse, so I'm just glad to be here.
Oh, welcome back. I guess it's better that it happened to you than it happened to one of these teams. You know, that would have been Then we all would have been waiting. Yeah. Luckily, you're right. Your body pillar was still there, though. Don't worry, John.
Yeah.
You still had the real important stuff from your webcam still available. So don't you worry, sir. The monster was still
that's great.
Reality, they start off with the first big Nature's Prophet. Now, we saw this the last series. KYXY was on that off-lane Prophet. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't great, right? It wasn't as influential as you would hope. And now Adroit, of course, as you can see, John, they go into the DKAA. That is a very, very strong opening. You know, it's already a very, very hard opening for a draft that a Reality Rift are going to have to think about.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's super flexible as well, because the DK doesn't have to go down mid for Adroit. We might see, I believe Bensoy is subbing for Bok, so we might see Bensoy play that DK off. I'm not sure if it's something he does a lot. And in fact, to recall, it's been a while since we saw Bensoy play. I don't think it was in vogue the last time we saw him play it, so he might go for it. I'm not sure if that's what Adroit wants, but Reality Rift, I have to tell you, we watched a lot of Reality Rift, right? Like, we watched a lot of them in Birmingham. And Prophet for KYXY, I don't think it's a hero that I feel Reality Rift really maximizes well. There's something about the timings Reality Rift hits. Maybe they're trying to figure it out. Maybe they feel confident in it. There are ways to make it work. I just hope they shake it up with how, with what they expect from KYXY, because there's only so much you can get done with a Prophet. Like, we saw even Ice kind of struggle with it in the first series, so there are certain limitations to that hero. They do tie up their draft a bit better with the Tusk, so you've got a way of avoiding that initiation with a snowball save. I think that Tusk is always potent, and we've seen a lot of teams maximize that, so Reality Rift has a lot of leeway now with kind of baiting in Adroit if they wanted.
That they do. I do like the Tusk pickup here from RR, but I still get a little bit concerned about how you're going to deal with the DK. That's my main source of issue here for RR, because we've seen this a lot from a lot of teams now where they pick DK hits level 6, they start pushing down talents and game map control. You never kill the DK because you didn't draft against that DK. In all fairness, there's not many heroes that can go against the DK very easily.
Oh yeah.
AA being one of those heroes, but Adroit already have that on their side of things.
Radiant team.
I just wonder how RR are going to deal with this. Adroit, they'll bring out a third pick now. We'll get to see where else they're heading with all this. You can choose to just ignore the DK. We've seen that from a couple teams where during a team fight, they'll just literally won't even bother with the DK. Take care of everyone else first, and then afterwards you deal with the DK last, right? But I don't know.
10 seconds.
You've got to deal with the other 4 first as well, right? Like, it's not that easy.
Yeah, it is a bit tricky. I think something more common picks we've seen against that are like sometimes Necrophos comes out, but Adroit are really going in on some pretty big team fight. You've got the classic Ancient Apparition Shaker combination. It won TI, you know, and it's a combo we don't get to see too often nowadays, but it's still quite potent. I think the biggest thing for Adroit is the Shaker will need space to find that blink. So with a DK as a core, I think you do have some space in the mid game to give the Shaker the space it needs. And I don't think timing's going to be a great issue, but that is something Adroit has to be aware of.
Yeah. I love the fact that the Earthshaker, even though it's received multiple nerfs, you know, it hasn't really received any buffs, just kind of comes back into the meta as if nothing ever happened. Just slips his way back in, and I think this hero just is never going to die. It's just that pick that just always does what it needs to do. How can you say no to, like, basically 3 stuns from one hero? Like, you can't say no to that. RR now, they'll have a bit of a think about their third pickup. This should reveal whether we're going to see a core Prophet or maybe just a +5 Prophet instead. You might want something else in that core role to kind of deal with the what's coming out from Adroit right now, because the Prophet kind of just tickles the DK.
Yeah.
That can be a little bit of a concern.
It certainly can be, but I think if they were going to go for core Prophet, what looks really good to pick up right now would be a Rubik. Now, you know, it wasn't the best showing from Hustler last time, but There's just so many good spells here. Ice Blast is there, Fissure's there, Echo Slam's there. Even the DK spells are pretty darn good. So if Reality Rift wanted to, it's not a very bad Rubik game, I don't think.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that. I think it is a decent Rubik game. Of course, there is an Earthshaker after all. Happy to say no to that. Even the Ice Blast from the AA is pretty darn nice. You can just kind of turn it around onto that DK.
Ooh.
But there's a Lion, John. Could you please explain to me why they just drafted Lion?
They wanted a way to deal with the DK, and I don't think they wanted to commit a core pick or something like Lina, or like a Necrophos, or a Pugna with the disarm. The Lion's pretty solid. It's still great stun. It's a great way to kite around the DK, and of course it has great burst. It gives you some tempo to play around with now from RR. So you hit 6 in the Lion, you're going to be going out into any other lane, finding a gank, getting the finger off, and hopefully finding the kill. It does work out nicely like that. It gives him a solid way to just jump in and burst either the AA or Shaker fast as well, because you don't want that Wombo combo to go off. So the blink timing for the Lion is just as important as our Shaker's blink, although you're probably not going to get as much space. Whether or not RR will devote that space out is up in the air, but you would want to. It's ideal in order to prevent the droid from getting their own big combination off.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't mind it too much. Just you're already having a bit of a rough day as it is. I'm not sure if going something a bit weirder like a Lion is the way to go here. That's my concern, right? Like, this hero is not in the meta for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's because it's not very good right now, and it hasn't been for a very long time. As you know very well, Tom,
Yeah.
you love this hero.
Yeah, it's one of my boys. He's dead to me. It's like he's not coming back. It's just so hard to make it work. Laning phase is all right. You can trade with your Impale, but at some point it's very easy to punish a Lion for that. And I love the pickup from Adroit. So it looks like we are gonna get the mid DK. We're getting the offlane Beastmaster for, I believe, Bensoy. And it's just such a good fit here. You've already got the DK for push. Now you've got the Beastmaster as well. You've got solid single target control coming out of that Beastmaster on top of all the control and damage your supports are giving you. It's such a well-balanced draft from Adroit, and I'm very worried about what RR is going into. They don't have the best wave clear with these supports, and they have decent burst potential. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. They're going to be relying a lot perhaps on the Tusk to save someone who's roared up or being targeted by the Ice Blast. And I guess this is one way to deal with that. You go with a spec, you try to go the long game. A droid can kind of scale, but the Spectre is one of the best scaling late here, so RR will want to buy space there.
I appreciate where you're going with this Spectre pick, John, I really do, but you're up against DK Beastmaster.
Yeah.
I don't think you have time to farm up on a Spectre. That's my problem. Like, this draft's so dominant from Adroit, but they're going to push down towers so quick. You've got solid control to take down the Spectre as well, and it's up against the Beastmaster, right? Of all things,
Yeah.
probably the most lane dominant offlaner right now in the game is Beastmaster, and
Yeah.
you've got a Spectre line up against Beastmaster, Earthshaker, I guess, and I don't know how I feel about it. I just think, I know they have to try and drag it out the best they possibly can till that later stage of the game, but when you don't have that wave clear, and you don't have ways of pushing out waves and buying Spectre space, Adroit might be in for a very fast game, John.
Yeah, it's a major worry for Reality Rift's draft. I think they have to play to their strengths, which means I don't want to see KYXY going for a defensive build. He has to go offensive. Like, he has to buy space for that Spectre if they want to make this work. And one way they could is by maybe going hunting. So you've got the NP, haunt with a spec on a low target, you have the NP to TP in, find the kill, back off immediately. Do that every 2 minutes, which is easier said than done and is a very long time, and maybe you find space. I know they've got to really impress with their last pick. Their mid has to be something Alacrity can tempo set with, because you mentioned it. This is just going to be such a fast push, and no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
That is, I don't know. Somewhere in the world, Slap's just vomited in his mouth. He's disgusted. I'm disgusted too, John. I do not like this at all. You know, mid-win ranger, John, is coming up for Alacrity. No, it's happening, but I don't say no, it's gonna happen, unless you see a mid line.
I'd rather the mid line. I'll tell you that. I'd actually rather the mid line, but look, I like Wind Ranger, I like the hero, I like its kit. I think when you have a Nature's Prophet, that's 100% guaranteed shackle in one. Is that going to be enough? No. Is it going to help you against a Dazzle? No. It's a tempo setting hero for Alacrity, and he will have to do a lot of work with it. There's a reason why it's faded out of the meta, and I don't think that's it. I don't think it's the solution here. Like, it's not going to do damage to the DK. It's not going to do anything to Natsumi, for one. The wave clear is not the best. And if you get caught in the slam, in the fissure Ice Blast, you're basically just gone. You don't have much HP to begin with. So there's a lot here from RR that they really have to play perfectly. Whereas Adroit, I think, has a lot more leeway, and we're actually being treated to Mac, right? Yeah, Mac and the Beastmaster. So Ben Soy's on the Dazzle. It's just so much easier for Adroit to execute this draft. It's a much faster draft. So they can't afford to drag the game out. I don't think that's going to be an issue.
I like the Dazzle finish as well from Adroit, because I think you've already got these unkillable heroes on Adroit, and you just make them even harder to kill. We know the sustain available from the Dazzle. You drag it out really late up against the Dazzle, once he's at that level 18 mark, you can forget about the game. He's just going to keep everyone at full HP the whole time. Alacrity has to play like an absolute god this game. I would love to see it. I can't say I'm very confident, but I'm looking forward to see how well he does in the Wind Range.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are situations where it works. I think the important thing is itemization. So the timing on, I guess in this case, you're really going to have to go for just the timing, and that is going to be really important, because nothing else on their lineup does anything up against the other course. I'm gonna have to reconnect real quick, Mike, because I've got someone else in my camera.
Always good to see that. Absolutely. So this is the first game for Adroit vs RR, the first showing for Adroit throughout the BTS Pro Series 2. And as John has mentioned a couple times, Adroit is one of the stronger teams in SEA right now, and the RR has definitely got another hard matchup. They're bringing out something weird. I already see Alacrity going to the standard pub build, going for the Javelin Rush, which is if you are watching out there and you think this is a good idea because you saw Alacrity do it, don't do it. It's not a don't pick this hero. If it's in your cavern crawl, just buy a new battle pass. Don't even do it. Oh no, I appreciate the Javelin. Top lane, Ben Soy going to be chased down, but a great three-man Fisher and Boomy does steal the Battering away from Adroit, or rather from RR. And RR only managed to find one bounty. KYXY takes one at the bot lane, but 3 go to the way of Adroit, and that's going to be a great little gold booster for them to start off this game. And we are going to have a very, very quick pause, I'm sure, coming out from Adroit. Oh, those voice lines. Adroit's been spending their money. That's sure. Gaming will be very, very pleased seeing this kind of game here from. It's like Boomy is actually going to rotate in mid very early on. Mind you, he is being scouted out and chased down by Nuts on the line. It's not like they're going to really be able to kill Alacrity off with just the level 1 Fisher, but I'm sure he'll just run around this mid lane. Just keep trying to avoid Nuts on that line.
Yep.
Oh. Alacrity just had to TP back to the mid lane, not willing to, of course, miss those creeps underneath his tier 1 tower. I'll just get back to farm. It's kind of weird though, right? Like, generally speaking, you wouldn't really want to rush boots on a pos 5 line like this, right? Like, you'd rather have crazy amounts of regen and just keep trading harass, but I guess up against Boomy, knowing that the Earthshaker is going to get those level 1 boots, you kind of need to keep up with this Earthshaker. And even then, like, Boomy still has 20 more movement speed than Nuts does right now. So poor old Nuts, even with the brown boots, is going to be much slower than Boomy.
Yeah.
You look at Mac in that mid lane, he's having a great old time as well. 11-1 right now on that Beastmaster. Of course, as the levels go up on the Beastmaster, it becomes even harder to truly deal with him. The Alacrity going to go after that courier now and does end up sniping it, but Mac going to punish him with a lot of harassment. Alacrity will manage to also get the ball kill. So some nice pickups there from this Wind Ranger. But as the levels go up on Mac, this is only going to get harder and harder because those balls, they tend to hit quite hard at level 3. And even then, just being able to deny off so many creeps from Alacrity, certainly going to pay dividends here for Mac. Ben Sawyer ends up finding Curse Bottoms up at the top lane, and CML ends up going down to the bottom lane. Adroit did manage to get the first blood before CML went down, so you definitely call that a win in Adroit's books, and it was really just the pulse fires both dying. Standard stuff. Nuts. You can't run that far up as a lion like this, and he's dead. It's the poison touch though, right? Like, once poison touch is on top of you as a lion, you see the Fisher come out of the ES, and that's it, you're dead. Like, there's no way out of it.
Yep.
Even bot lane, KOXY ends up going down as well, as Natsuni with the Dragon Tail and CML with the Cold Feet do lock him down. Only 2 more kills going the way of Adroit. And even Drew on this Spectre, he has to be so careful. That level 2 poison touch, you can't underestimate how much damage you can make out of it, especially if you keep refreshing it over and over again. He's just going to continue to just spam Spectral Dagger to secure CS here in this safe lane for now. But Boomy's a constant threat. You know he has the Fisher, you know he can go at any time, and speaking of, he might just go right now with a great block with that Fisher, but Drew, Spectral Dagger, no, it wore off. He can't get the free carving off, and now Hustler gonna rotate in, but Drew is definitely gonna die, and Hustler, can he at least find Boomy? No, he gets juked out, he thinks he's gone north. Truth was, he just...
Yep.
Shards are there, perfectly placed, although Boomy's still being a real nuisance here, but does finally end up dying. Nuts the one to pick up the kill, and it's actually some decent timing here from RR. They will be able to secure both the top bounty runes and even, yeah, they'll get a 3-1 on those bounties because there is still one left on the Dire side. Well, they just saw him use his wind run, so there's no way of him getting out of that situation. In fact, I'm not really sure what he was doing that far down the lane. But Alacrity, those are kills you can't afford to give away right now. The rest of the team is already having a tough time as it is. They're depending on this Wind Ranger to set a pace for their team, and if that keeps up, he's not going to be able to do that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Hey, it's huge. Now mid lane, Boomy, he just rotates in. Cold feet there onto Hustle, and they will get the kill. Alacrity, the focus fire, and a nice shackle shot does secure the kill on the AA. But now the board's slow. He just used the wind run. Boomy going to be there with an enchant totem stun. Alacrity needs another wind run, but it's up in a few seconds. Still a great stun from Nuts. Does get the 2-man, and that'll be enough. But it's just such a close call for RR, almost losing that Wind Ranger again. Had Raw been up, that would have been a guaranteed kill on Alacrity. Definitely not up against the Dazzle, who already has Necro on books, by the way. So that's some fast timing on that tablet. They are going to go into Boomy top lane, but another great Fisher coming out from Boomy. Still, he will drop CML. Trying to protect his Dazzle. Ben's still going to be able to walk away from this, but CML may not be so lucky, though. Another great Earth fight, but they do lose Nuts. There goes CML as well. Now a Raw being committed straight onto Alacrity, who does wind run and just try and run away, but it looks like he probably will take out the Poison Touch. Maybe he gets a deny off on these neutrals, but yeah, you can't channel the power shot like that all the way if you want to deny on the neutrals.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, Necro one book on Ben Soy, level 6 on Natsumi. They will force Alacrity to rotate in on the Wind Ranger. He is focus firing down this Dragon Knight, but now just look who came in. It's Mac. And give him the tip. He's playing Wind Ranger. He deserves it. We'll end up going down. The T1 tower will also go down. And yeah, with that, John, Adroit has got some real nice control going on across this map. Look at that mid lane though. Hustler, thinking he's safe right now. Mac, he found an even better target. He goes after KYXY instead. Nice snowball there, but this is going to be enough. She'll turn around with the tag team. Mac falling low, but a great Fisher. Drew walks in as that Fisher came out. Now Nuts trying to fight back, but he can't. Oh, what kind of timing was that from Boomy? Oh, Drew dies as well. The hell of a Dominator Crypt just chasing him down. Now Alacrity being stunned up by the Dragon Tail. He's been slowed by the Poison Touch. It's a full team wipe. We're 9 minutes into the game.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is falling.
FY, he's found himself No-Tail out on his own.
He's trapped him.
There's No-Tail. Is he going to get any sort of backup? No, he's not. There's 3 still dead on OG. It'll be a slow and painful death here for No-Tail as Zame comes in for the kill secure.
And I love the way that Chalice popped his BKB super early in that fight. He just knows, I just need to get my ulti off. And he cast it at a very safe range. He didn't wait for the last second of his BKB. He's not very greedy. I think that's a lot of the reason why they've been winning these team fights. Seb has been struggling, still about 1,000 gold away from his BKB.
Yeah, this Brewmaster is a display of perfection, really. He's the highest level in the game with his Bloodseekers.
And doing a ton of damage. One of the most damage in the game as an offlaner.
Now has full Shiva, so even more ways. He's pretty much itemized entirely just to be like, Ana, I'm ruining your game. I've got Radiance, I've got Shivas. You're going to struggle so much in these fights as Phantom Lancer.
Eric's did his best to keep Ana alive, and but Ana wasn't able to do damage because he was ruptured. He wasn't that low on HP, but still can't run around.
Seb.
Oh, I'm as many ninjas here.
Got to be careful who shows up top. Indeed, Jerax. He's going out on his own. He doesn't expect Zame to have this invis rune. And Zame will show himself. Jerax goes across, but Somnus is there.
Somnus is not messing around rupturing.
No mercy. They're feeling very confident now at this point, getting these very advantageous team fights as well as getting kills on the split push too. Thompson though, will find X-Nova.
Seb, and as well, between the two of them, they'll take down the support edge. FY's going to come in though. He hasn't got anyone else with him at the moment. It is just FY, so just playing around with Seb.
He has no help around at all, and he's still just making Seb's life miserable.
He is toying with him. He's just making him not be able to come back. Look, they're already starting to rotate this Brewmaster and Bloodseeker too, and FY, he's ready to look for Seb.
Seb's got to get out.
Oh, Seb.
As indeed FY, the patience keeping that control on Seb, buying time for Chalice to come in. Ana is going to look towards the Tusk. Chalice is now there, does have Primal Split available if he wants to look to take this fight. Somnus coming in as well. As Ana, Seb look to hide in the trees. Can they get out of it? Ana's got a TP available. He's into the trees. He's going to show himself in the lane though. They're going to continue to head over. They are going to see Seb make it out in time. They don't have a stun. Ana, can he get out as well? He can. OG will avoid that rotation from PSG LGD.
FY is just so obnoxious there, following Seb for over a minute, just stalking him, trying to have his team come over.
So that's about, a minute without Aegis being used for LGD. They have 2 minutes left, I would say, to capitalize on this Aegis. Oh man, looks like he is level up the L.
Pretty much back to a 50-50. PSG LGD 2-1 up at the moment in this best of 5 grand finals. 1 game needed to secure the championship title. And at this point, they are ahead here in game 4.
No-Tail hasn't had time to gather a full army of Ancient Creeps. Right now, he just has the Ancient Black Dragon. You really want those other auras when you're at a big disadvantage in these team fights already.
Yeah, it's tough though, because Jerax doesn't want to be following around his Chen, giving him the Aghanim, so. As Thompson, he does have a Lincoln Sphere picked up, and they should have the BKB finished on Seb too. So that'll give him a little bit easier time to get those Blink calls out as he's been suffering to do so in the last few fights. And Somnus, I have Scotty picked up, about to be level 25 as well.
Yeah, they just need a couple more minutes on the side of OG before they're ready to fight. Wait for the Aegis to expire.
Seb, he's in, gets the call, the character's going to get FY, there with the snowball save. He's going to be fine, and now they turn to look towards the axe. The taunt's going to be out. Seb goes for the TP. They've got the stun to cancel though. Seb held back for now. Thompson trying to offer his best from the side to provide some sort of safety, as he will get Seb back. They're able to get Seb back to safety, and Thompson, he's running away. X-Nova's there with the wraparound, gets the slow off, gives the vision for the snowball. TP from No-Tail's coming in towards the shrine, but Thompson, he's trapped.
That's twice in the series that X-Nova just comes out of nowhere. Like, he's just on a warding expedition, then he just ends up wrapping behind these people constantly.
Perfect time.
Perfect timing, and has the Senton creep to boot. And look at these deep wards that he's placed during that time that he was running around doing so. He now has full vision of OG. Yeah, he sees Ana farming these Ancients right now.
Oh, Ana. FY just giving so much information for the team. He's got eyes on him. Get the punch on the wrong target, but the snowball pass will catch Ana. Ana, he's in trouble. The blood right silence connects. He's got the Manta back up in a second, but can he really play his way out of this one? He cannot. Ana down for a minute and a half.
Just having all this vision. I mean, X-Nova throughout this whole tournament has had the best vision in every situation, even when you wouldn't expect it. They're just like, oh, they're fighting on the left side. They're not going to have vision over here. But no, X-Nova always seems to have those prepared in every situation.
And he has some incredible foresight to be able to have these wars that just lead to really clutch pickoffs. And Axe has not spent his money on BKB. He has the money, but he might be looking to save for buyback.
We'll see if any of the buybacks do get forced out. Thompson's still dead for 15. Ideally, he doesn't buy back it. They may have to buy back on Ana. He's gone for 50 seconds. The split coming out from Chalice. Is he ready to push in? Look for the stun on No-Tail to hold back the Chen. As the mid-racks are exposed, PSG LGD, 40 minutes in, able to open into the base and clean out this mid lane of racks. Still Ana holding on to that buyback.
And they're going to keep going here. They really want to force this PL to come back here.
Stun onto Thompson. He will blink dodge it. But another tier 3 tower falling incredibly fast. They really don't want to use it. Seb jumps in, gets the call onto FY. There's the buyback. The Cataclysm isn't enough to do anything. It isn't. PSG LGD still fighting strong. Thompson getting focused by Somnus. Seb taken down by Arme. The triple buybacks now out as Ana in trouble. He's pulled back for this one. The deafening blast onto the three of them. Knocks them back, but Ana gets focused. Seb! He's in with the call. He has the control onto the morphing Somnus. Now being chased by Thompson. Blinks in with the cold snap. The PL army's on top of it. They get Somnus too. As OG, they have to expend 3 buybacks, but they hold on to the top racks. Somnus now down for 2 minutes. No buyback available on this Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he's 400 gold short of it. It's up in about 8 seconds. OG, they have to make so much happen here. They have to push out all their lanes. 2 of the side lanes are already gone, but I think trying to get some kills here, like on FY here, would be very ideal.
I mean, look how close to Brew is at 25.
So close.
With that final split cooldown.
Oh, Thompson, he sees it FY. He's used the snowball. He turns with the combo FY with the self-fuels, but OG, they've surrounded him. Seb jumps in with the call, the blade mail. FY's gone.
Instant buyback from FY.
Still that scary, scary time for LGD. 75 seconds without Somnus. OG have the full 5-man pushing in all 3 lanes at the same time as they approach LGD's base.
I don't even know if I give a heads up with this team fight. The LGD are for gold, but no Bloodseeker for 60 seconds. This could be disastrous.
He's got a full BKB on Seb as well.
Chalice really wants to hit level 25 before he pops that primal split. So close.
Just got to be careful, Seb. Looking for that blink initiation.
Chalice is stepping back. They give him the tome. He needed like 5 experience, and they gave him the tome just to make sure that he gets it anyway. Just playing as safe as possible here.
Looks like OG don't feel that the window is big enough for them to push in whilst this Bloodseeker's still dead. They'll back away.
They can't count. They fought back 3 heroes. They weren't able to get any T3s, and there's no Roshan up yet. Big Daddy No-Tail's praying for a Roche right now so they can get that refresher, but it's not going to be up. And maybe we'll dodge a bullet.
At least they got a good amount of economy off of that, right? It was up to a 15k gold advantage, and they chunked it down to 7. Same thing with experience. So they did get quite a lot out of that one, but they ideally wanted to get at least one of those sets of racks to get some momentum pushing in with those 3 buybacks used.
Absolutely, it is this really scary moment of the game now for OG. We're about 5-6 minutes still without those buybacks available. If PSG LGD can find that one team fight, it could be the team fight to win TI in this window of time that they now have presented to themselves.
Ana's gone full in for that butterfly too. As they pick up also an Aeon discount Jeremy, so protected in O. DD did spawn, however, was killed.
It's also pretty scary for Maybe right now. He only has a 5-second BKB, and he does a lot of damage and will get wrecked by the X-Blade Mail call if he finds it, especially with his BKB now. There's not that many ways to stop him.
It's just all about FY and Chalice, right? Just either saving or just getting into the midst of the fights and not allowing OG to get the picks.
And the spark, it's going to be dispelled.
Let's get dispelled. But the Sienna.
He's in the trees, they're on the high ground, they've got the vision with the Shiva's covered, Ana's on his way over, they've got the snowball down, there's the Catapult, Seb jumps in, he's able to find the call onto Challenge, but Challenge already got the BKB out, the Sunstride's going to be down onto FY, but FY will survive. Seb pots the BKB, he'll try and stand his ground, but Seb, he's going to go down, no buyback on the Axe, as Jerax as well, surrounded by PSG LGD, the Eon Disc will proc, but they'll fight through it.
He has to buy back immediately.
Look at these creep track by these Force Spirits. On the bottom room, they have no creeps in the mid lane.
Sienna still holding on to that buyback on Jerax. But as Ben said, the creeps aren't here.
It's backdoor. And they breached through it. It's not looking like it right now. I mean, everyone hitting the same one.
That creep cutting isn't enough to hold OG in the game.
You see No Tails already running to just, he doesn't care. He's going to throw his life for this. He needs to just keep these creeps out of the base to keep that back door up. He doesn't care if he dies.
Which he certainly will. As they get upon him, they find his life. 1 minute now without No Tail and without Seb. Thompson, Anna, and Jerax. The only 3 heroes that can offer their defense during this final minute, this final stand.
Jerax is really trying to hold on to his buyback.
The Chalice split of course up once again. They're finishing off this second set of racks. He's got the Cyclone holding Anna up in the skies. As this racks on the top lane will fall, the melee rack's gone. PSG LGD playing this carefully. As they'll go down towards the bottom as well. Arme, doppelgangers, he's losing a fair bit of mana into the PL. Still able to shift back into that Morphling if needs be. As OG, they will lose their top racks, but they won't lose the game. PSG LGD are playing it safe. They know how close they are to victory, and they will not throw it away.
And they know that the Roche is probably respawning pretty soon, and it actually is up, so that is that refresher shard. They already have pretty much infinite primal splits up anyway, but they feel very confident here.
They weren't able to de-ward that ward in the mid lane, so it looks like they are going for a Roche fake out.
Check. Anna is on top of X-Nova. The Ghost Step's going to get the set. He's in. The call, the MP, the counter ward, and flies in. He's able to get the save off in time to keep this man alive. But he's got it up. Chalice is down. Buyback from X-Nova and Chalice. FY with the Invis. Somnus looking to get involved. Pause the BKB to get over the ice roll. They get on top of Seb. Seb's in trouble. Seb's gone. The axe down once again for 90 seconds. There's now FY giving them the vision, but they see him. With the doppelganger to jump away from the snowball over to Thompson, the self-fuels. FY
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining.
And Reality Rift, it is MLP Dota. Lovely John expired. John, welcome back, sir. It wasn't, it almost felt like the break was longer than the game that we just watched. It was rough. It was rough, but we're back for game 2. Hopefully things get changed up for RR and they can maybe pull off a win here to end their night tonight. It's all about the draft though, right? They've got to pick a really good draft here up against a team like Adroit, otherwise they're going to get run over like that again.
Yeah, it's game 1 draft was not impressive. I'd like to see something else for KYXY again. We watched so much of him in Birmingham. We saw his last series. I don't think the NP does enough for RR. I don't think it's down to the player, it's just that with the way RR plays, it just doesn't play into their style. I think they need something a bit more aggressive. They center around Alacrity making plays and giving Drew space to farm. So they need heroes that can play into that. Adroit though, they've been allowed to pick up that AA again. You don't see the Earthshaker ban out. So that's an option for Adroit to just open up with once more.
Battle the DK, John. Right? Because the last time around they did first pick AA DK as their first 2 picks. The beauty of choosing the AA right now is if RR choose the DK, you have the counter towards it already. And if they don't choose the DK, you just take it yourself.
Yeah. Right?
Because you're still on the Radiant side, you still have the nice advantage of having those kind of drafts on that Radiant side. And generally speaking, if you are trying to run a push style lineup, you are better off on the Radiant than you are the Dire. Because Dota isn't fair. Game. It's all about finding the little advantages in this game. However, RR a very strong opening of their own now in the Oracle Troll.
I don't know about that though. Into an AA?
To the AA.
That's a bit strange. That's a bit strange. It's a strong combo.
Right.
it's just already counteracted. You've already got the Ancient Apparition. Adroit, I'm sure they're wondering.
Remaining.
No, well, they're not wondering. They're like, okay, we'll take it. Because this is exactly what you want. You mentioned the DK being countered by AA. Troll ult is not going to be building you back up. Oracle, if the Ice Blast is going true, after it, even if you live, you're not going to gain back HP. So there are a lot of things here for RR to have to play around. They've got to be very, very careful about being caught by the Ice Blast. And this is a much more solid core for Drew. We've seen him play this a lot in the Troll. The Oracle treats it well. It's just gone now. Pugna comes in.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? You're gonna get disarmed. You're just gonna get disarmed, or you get, or you chase someone down. They get decrept, and you don't do anything. It's rough. Reality Rift. If we were expecting a draft shakeup, this is a shakeup. I'm shaking in the exact opposite reaction. This is not good.
Nope. No, it is not. Already 2 counters against RR, and both those counters can be considered supports. I don't know if they're going to run the Pugna support. Obviously, it's a flex pick here. You can run a mid. You can run it anywhere you want, really. But if they do run the pos for Pugna, why not? Like, why the hell not? You've got so much counters to the main, like the heart of this draft that RR has already showed us. It's the Oracle Troll.
Yeah.
They can try to switch it now into something else. But how do you do that? You've only got 3 picks left. You've got your POS 1 decided. There's no such thing as a POS 4 troll. I've got to tell you, John, I haven't seen that yet. So you can't do that. It's a hard match already for RR. But I look forward to see what they do with their draft to try and counter what Adroit is bringing up.
Yeah, I think if they wanted to prevent the Pugna and AA from being an issue, or if they wanted to burst them down fast, this is probably a really good Nyx game. They could draft it in. Those 2 targets are really squishy, really easy to punish with your Spike Carapace. I think there's a lot of value in a Nyx pickup here for Reality Rift. If they wanted to. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to. I don't know if they can fit that in. Yeah, it's just so tricky when you've already got the Oracle Troll around to throw in the Nyx as well. Nyx Oracle as a support duo, not very solid, and I don't know if KYXY has been given the Nyx for offlane all too often.
We'll find out very soon. This 3rd pickup now for Reality Rift is about to come up. Already, it's looking tough. They know this already. They know what they're going to have to go through up against Pugna AA. Question is, what are they going to do about it? Should see a position 4 pickup now here for Hustler. He won't have that Pangolier. Now, I'm going to throw out an option here, which may or may not work, but I actually think it is a very decent idea to actually go for a possible Clockwork right now.
Yeah.
I
don't think that's too bad. Like,
these 2 contest. Pugna AA, once you hookshot in with Battery Assault Cogs, they're just sitting ducks. They're screwed. Now, I'm not saying that's going to win them the game, but I would dare say that it gives you another form of initiation. You can run it as the POS 4, and I'm fairly sure we've seen Hustle play it quite a bit in the POS 4 position, if I'm correct.
That we have, and I do agree.
Never mind. It is banned out of it. Never mind. I'm blind. The Earthshaker comes out for RR. Alright, so they deny that away from Boomy. Still a great pick. Right, we can't deny that.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna have to be very careful, though, with how they start the fights. So if the Nether Ward's down, you're gonna have a hard time initiating cleanly as a Shaker. They've already got a way to sort of punish that. And Adroit, they picked themselves something we've seen every now and again with mixed results. I think in this lineup it looks really good, though. The Tidehunter for the Ravage teamfight, Reality Rift immediately into the Enigma for KYXY. So they've got some team fight now as well. Black Hole Slam is nice. Again, there's still issues. Black Hole with a Nether Ward around, the Enigma a lot. And with the Tidehunter around, you've already got great wave clear on pretty much, well, 2 of these heroes. So the Enigma Eidolons aren't going to be as effective in pushing because they're just going to be food for these 2 heroes.
I think the idea with the Enigma though is to just dominate the off lane of RR, right? You spawn the Eidolons, you deny a creep off straight away, you just deny the hell out of the safe laner of Adroit. The only problem is I see with that is you haven't really found out who's safe lane for Adroit yet. You know, they could easily try to pick up something that doesn't really care for the Eidolons of the Enigma, or maybe even just clears them out very nicely. Arguably even you could put the Tidehunter up against the Enigma and just anchor smash.
Pretty much. That's just it. Free food. If they want, there you go. That's it. That's how you deal with it. I hate the guy. I hate the Gyrocopter, but when you have a lineup like this, you can't blame them, right? This is a very perfect Gyrocopter game. AA ult, Pugna to hold down the troll, stop him from fighting, tied with a Ravage, Gyrocopter to follow up. It's so laid out well for Adroit in terms of taking these fights. RR still have ways to make it work. It really depends on what they prioritize. If they play around the black hole, which we really don't see, they could kind of collapse onto Adroit early and kind of force them to take some awkward fights. The issue is black hole is such a massive cooldown. And you could argue Adroit with Ravage have a long cooldown as well. They don't need to play around just a Ravage. They could play around the Pugna. They could play around the AA, Gyrocopter, and their last pick, which we still have to see. So there's a timing issue here for Reality Rift. I'm keen to see how exactly they decide to push out this Enigma.
Oh, okay. The Void Spirit pops up last, so I was kind of considering maybe they'd be willing to run the mid Pugna and pick up like the possible Rubik, because there's so much value here up against the Earthshaker Enigma, but they don't bother with that. They feel like they don't even need that. The Void Spirit mid will be the one coming out for Adroit. Does run out their draft rather well now, because you could just brawl straight away. Like after that 10-minute mark, you just run at the side of RR. Every time they don't have Echo or Black Hole, you know you're going to win the team fight. So it's, I don't know. But RR, they need one more big pick. Someone to set the pace here. A phrase I use oh so commonly, but it is really necessary this time around for them to win that mid lane matchup and try to secure that mid game. Lacrity, SF maybe? No.
Okay. It's all that comes online fairly quick. I think you've got two combinations to watch out for now: Monkey and Oracle. So those heroes really benefit from the Oracle sustain. It's just Ancient Apparition is a ping. So RR has a bit of a window where they're going to be effective. When CML's not going to be 6 yet, and as a support, you know, it can be hard to find the EXP. There is potential there for RR to just sustain themselves. If they jump CML every single time, they don't have anything to worry about, basically. So there are situations where RR's draft can kick into gear. The issue is, it's a lot harder to execute. It simply is. You have to land a lot of stuff out in the cleanup to maximize that. Adroit, it's much more straightforward. You mentioned it, but they're just going to be brawling from the start. And Reality Rift, they need some initial farm in some of these heroes.
They do. Get into this game very, very soon. Game number 2. Hopefully RR can actually pull off a victory here. But it does look tough. It seems to be a lot on the shoulders of Alacrity though, really. Because we saw him last game, right, on that Wind Ranger. If he has a good time, he can make magic happen. But if he does not have a good lane, it is just disastrous, as everything else just tends to fall apart. They do really center the draft around him quite a lot.
That they do. I think he should have a favorable matchup against Mac. He has a range advantage. Mac does have a lot of damage, but it'll take like maybe level 3 for that to really kick in. So Alacrity does have some leeway there. I do like that the Monkey King for him means that he can be active early. He's going to need to be, right? He can't afford to farm around, sit around and farm up. That is going to be Drew's job. So RR, they've got a lot more of a fighting time. It's not as aggressive as Adroit from the laning phase, but around the 15-minute mark with some mid-game farm, they can certainly make things happen.
Get into it. Game number 2 now between these two. Of course, if you are tuning in wondering what the next series is going to be, I may as well talk now. It is going to be Geek Fam versus Signal Ultra for our final series of the night. Straight after this game, it'll be interesting because we haven't seen Signal Ultra for... I feel like we haven't casted them for ages, John, you and I.
Yeah.
Almost
yeah, I
feel
think...
like...
No, I think... No, not that far. If I recall right, there was that famous disconnect. So that was like a major qualifier. Remember that one? Yeah. That's the last time.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, I remember. You didn't have to remind me, John. That was depressing.
Yeah, it's so crushing, but there it is. Looking forward to that one. I just out of topic a bit, but back-to-back Filipino teams, Mike. What can I say? Man, it's my day. My day with a power outage.
30 seconds to battle.
I'm glad you're happy, John. When's the Australian team playing?
Not today, Mike.
One day, I guess. Top lane on Drew and Nut's already going to be there on the Troll Oracle. Looks like Boomy's actually going to be there on the Pugna. They are running the that possible Pugna as we expected.
The battle.
But I like the fact that they're actually just going to bring it up against that Troll. You can just grief his last hits over and over again with Decrepify. It really does become quite frustrating to deal with. It's already hard enough trying to last hit up against a Tide Hunter. But then you got this Pugna just decreping you every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Making it that much harder.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. And additional thing on top of that, Boomy has the taunt. So you can decrep and taunt, and there's really nothing you can do. You're going to have to rely on Nuts to perhaps purge it off of you. So there is at least a purge here to kind of settle those early control pieces just a bit. You're limited by your mana pool here.
The thing is as well though, Boomy just use that harassment from a mile away on the Pugna. Like, it's going to be hard for Nuts and Drew to sustain this. It's not a Boomy, he can just harass for free. He's not trading at all. They come close, I never blast you. The worst they can do is Fortune's End like that. But ultimately, that's not going to mean much. Even Boomy just comes in for a casual gush onto Nuts, just really dishing it out to them early on at that level 1 mark, emptying their mana pools. Getting through a lot of regen already for RR.
Yeah, and it's not as hard for Drew as it was in game 1, for sure, but this is still not a very free lane for him, so we're not going to see the best timings from him, but at this point, I'd take decent timings for our Troll.
You look over to that mid lane as well. Alacrity should arguably have a pretty decent time here in the Monkey King up against that Void Spirit, as you know, Monkey King generally enjoys those melee matchups, but for now anyway, Mac has actually been in front of the last hits in terms of this mid lane. So far, Alacrity hasn't really been able to force him out of the lane very, very much. He's trying to stack up those Jingu Mastery procs here. But Mac is doing a really good job of just aggroing the creep wave towards his tier 1 tower and just finding CS under that tier 1 consistently.
Yeah, and he's also really heavily abusing his Resonant Pulse, so it's harder for Alacrity to try to go for an all-in, simply because there's a lot of turn potential from Mac.
That there is. Of course, down at the bot lane, the one we haven't looked at quite yet, you'll see KYXY there on that Enigma. Playing up against the Gyrocopter lane, which Natsumi again has the wave clear for those Eidolons with Flat Cannon. And he has actually opted to max the Flat Cannon first, which, you know, is to be expected. He pops it now. Eidolons will go die. In fact, they'll be denied off by KYXY himself. But that's not really what you want when you're playing Enigma. Like, you're trying to deny your own creep wave off, not your own Eidolons.
Yeah, it's not the best of times for KYXY. I think that shows in his last hits. He has 12 denies, only 9 last hits, and Natsumi's still finding farm. He's 16-5, top on the board right now.
Oh, Drew almost tries. He does get away with about 5 HP, but Nuts does find the first one before going down himself. Ben Soy dying on the Tide Hunter to the Oracle. Still, the thing is, you've left Drew there with no regen now. So, you found the first blood. That's great news for RR. I just get worried now for Drew, as looks like he got a salve on the way. That's alright. He'll be back in the lane.
Yeah, it keeps him in lane, but it eats into his economy. His last hits are not too bad, but it's certainly not like our gyro, and he's being harassed out again.
It's just bound to happen though, right? This is one of the real strengths about that Pulse 4 partner. Has a huge attack range, has Decrep Nether Blast, huge burst damage. Ben Soy is making a rotation now, trying to secure the enemy's rune here as the Pos 3 Tide Hunter, which is not something you see very often.
I think he's a Pos 4 now. They've just kind of relegated him there, and Boomy's just full on the core this time around.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Boomy's the off-laner now.
Yeah, support Tide. Like, that's a treat you never see.
I guess. Nut's gonna be chased down here. Drew gonna make the chase, but there's a Decrepify. Now Nether Blast won't be enough. Nuts, he does use his stick and heal himself up. Nice juking in that tree line. Bensoy knows where he is still. He does go down. The gush at the end was enough. And Drew trying to chase Boomy down, but he has to Decrepify again. If he really needed it. The truth is he doesn't.
No. It's a tough time for Drew, and still better than game 1, I want to say, but it's not better by much.
Bot lane as well. Hustler ends up losing his life on the Earthshaker. Make matters worse, it was Natsumi who picks up the kill on that gyrocopter. And speaking of Natsumi, John, his farm is just fantastic right now. 29 and 10. He's got 3 Wraith Bands up before he goes for the brown boots. This is just really going to make it so every time those Eidolons spawn, he can take them down that much faster with Black Hat.
Yeah, there's really not much you can expect KYXY to do here. And they've kind of trapped themselves in this laning situation once more, where you're not giving KYXY something that can really dominate.
They do find Bensoy up the top lane again, but Boomy trying to find a trade here. Still nice Purifying Flames and Fortune's End. Nuts, he might find Boomy, but no, he needs one more and he's out of cast range. So Boomy will now turn around and just go back to harassing our Drew. But I'm gonna say this is definitely a better start for RR than last game was. At least they don't find themselves too far behind yet, and they actually have picked up a couple kills in their troll.
Yeah, it's definitely a better time. I think the key thing is that you've also got Liquipedia not losing out in his mid. He's certainly managed to push ahead of Mac now. And this is going to be key for RR to find that mid-game momentum. You mentioned it a lot, but Liquipedia does set the pace here.
Well, Bensoy, he can't breathe. Hustler now going to make the rotation over on the Earthshaker, but again, you still have Boomy around. Hustler with that double damage really wanted to go after this Tide. And Bensoy, he has the brown boots, he should just be fine to run away. They could try and turn around now onto the Pugna, but Bensoy is still around the area, willing to fight if necessary. And Hustler gonna have to wait for Drew to come back into the lane, and now they will spawn out Boomy. Fortune's End gonna be there. He'll throw out another blast, but he's gonna be in big trouble. He decreps. How do you get out of this though? He's got life screen up now. He just hit level 6, and with that he's back up to 4 HP. Natsumi has rotated in as well. With the homing missile, flying out onto that troll. Wind Laser was dropped on the floor for a second there. Drew, he will get it back for himself. Now Nuts being chased down with Boomy. May overstay his welcome as Alacrity is here now on the Monkey King. And they should be able to find his partner, but a call down will come down as well. Boomy does drop though. And ultimately everyone else does manage to walk away. Hustler even finding the gyrocopter courier before he walks his way out.
That's a lot of good pickups for RR. This is certainly going to help them find a way to bounce back in. It's still a pretty costly engagement initially losing Drew, but you see the effect of Alacrity showing up in other lanes.
Alacrity gonna find CML as well. In fact, it's KYXY to pick that kill up. This is the strength of the Monkey King, right? You just have so much mobility, free dance around, find kills across the map. Only problem is now Mac is doing the same thing, and he finds Nuts at the top lane. And with that Oracle kill, they can easily secure this T1 tower.
Yeah, and this is something RR's draft can't replicate. They don't push as well as Adroit unless they've got the Eidolons up from KYXY. And again, there's just too much wave clear here. Although, Bensoy.
They do find Bensoy. Drew was there to help out and does secure the kill on the troll. You look at this troll farm though compared to the gyrocopter, he's almost 2k behind in terms of gold.
Is under attack.
He's going to try and group up with his team and help them push this bottom tier 1 to at least trade those towers. The only thing is, though, Adroit's going to force him to mid tier 1 if they're going to try and do that. The only person you have to defend that is Alacrity right now, and he can't do much at the moment. Level 8, doesn't have the Wukong's command skilled up yet. Draw bot lane. It's going to be a double astral step coming up from that. Big trouble, does end up going down, and now poor old Hustler going to be chased. Meanwhile, the call down up onto Alacrity, who does ride the Wukongs, but oh, nice mischief dodge on that Nether Blast, but Boomy has lost right now. Alacrity trying to run away, he is surrounded, he will go down. Now KOXY trying to get out of there. He does have Black Hole, but there's no point throwing it out. He's going to die anyway. DML will be the one to pick up the triple kill on the support AA.
Whew. Yeah, that's a big boon. They will still lose Bensoy bot, but you've traded the mid. No, they don't lose Bensoy. What?
There's some quick rotations coming up. Drew will be the one to go down. No battle trance available. He already committed it to try and chase down Bensoy. But you got to remember that is a tide you're chasing. That level 1 Kraken shell, you can't underestimate how much it blocks out.
Yeah, and RR, they're starting to lose their grip in this game. 4K advantage for Adroit. 10 minutes in, they've taken the top tier 1, the mid tier 1. They've got so many wards. Look at the warding in the jungle, Mike. There's no space to safely farm here from RR. Adroit just knows where you are.
There's a lot. Wards is something you need when you're playing something like a Monkey King, right? Like you just want to be able to just keep jumping within vision, trying to scout out somebody, kill some easy kills. But now it seems that there's a smoke going on here from Adroit, or rather just an invis route on Matt. But he's gonna run right past Nuts, and Nuts is of course going to be the first target. They want to just remove that Oracle straight away. No, instead it's onto Hustler. Get rid of that Earthshaker. Now the call down landing onto Nuts, who will leave the first charge here. With that, Mac on a killing spree now. Alacrity, he got out of there on the Monkey King, TPing to the mid lane. So they were going to try and maybe set up here on Boomy, but he is out of range now and he will just be fine.
Yeah, he's actually giving chase to the Eidolons as well. Not a safe spot to be in, Boomy.
Yeah, they've got Black Hole. KYXY quick commit right now just to secure that hunger kill. But Boomy surviving. Now Alacrity's going to be in trouble.
Oh, man.
And the tips come out for Alacrity. Matt will just keep going now, spotting out KYXY. Hustler, Fisher, not blocking him out, but rather blocking Matt in. Again, you can still find that Black Hole. Maybe they do now. KYXY trying to find the end here, but he's waiting too long. The Ravage comes out, and now you lose KYXY on the Enigma. TP cancelled from the troll as well. Hustler, he's going to get knifed here by Matt, and he will end up dying. As Boomy will just heal him up through that T2 tower damage. And I think KOXY, John, there was multiple moments during that last engagement, he could have just black holed one person and secured a kill. But really tried to hold on to it to find a multiple man black hole, and it just ends up dying in the end anyway.
Yeah, you compare that to Bensoy. He just ravaged one person, didn't matter, got them the kill. That's all they want. It's just a rough pace for RR. They need to just commit. Just commit, find the kills. It's not the end of the world yet. 7K advantage, you can easily swing that with a couple of pickoffs. They just need to find those pickoffs.
That one point where they had the partner alone in lane, in that mid lane, they could have just held him during that black hole and do it that way. And they had a secondary chance, and it also kind of just never worked out. They don't give Adroit more time now to escalate this net worthly they already have going for themselves. The 7K lead on this Radiant side. Matt getting jumped, but he's got so many teammates around him right now. Ice Blast gonna play. Matt, Bishop might not be great. Drew forced to try and battle trance with the false promise on top. CML gonna be chased down now. Adroit are slowly starting to move their way in. They do find the AA, but how do you survive now? Drew is trying to run away. Forces in actually locking them in, but there's the echo from Hustler. Not doing too much though. Alacrity will end up dying through the Wukong's command. And now Hustler, a bit of a sitting duck. He tried a black hole though. KOX XY setting up. They do find Mac on that void sprint, but Natsumi, he's gonna make a run for it, but no nuts. With the Purifying Flames has enough. Now Bensoi, he doesn't have Ravage. He needs to get out of it. Here comes Boomy. He finishes one with the Troll Warlord on the Pugma. And Hustler, you gotta get out of there, sir. That never fast circle, though. No, he secures the kill now onto that Pugma. Bensoi still rushing forward here, but ultimately it seems as though RR has actually made this team fight work.
Yeah, it looked rough at the start, but in the end, they found the big kills. They take out the cores they needed to, and they do deal out some good punishment. A good 2k gold swing going the way of RR. That's what they need to get done. Just commit, just try to throw your bodies out. You've got a lot of big team fight spells. Doesn't matter if it's not the perfect black hole. Doesn't matter if it's not the perfect echo. You just need that initial control. A little hustler.
Here we go. Gets the outpost. Will pay for it with his life. They won't even take the outpost back. They'll just leave it. They know KYXY is in the lane somewhere, but looks like he will be within safety's reach.
Yeah, and one big thing for RR in the last fight was that Bensoi did not have Ravage up. So that was a big opening for RR. It's now the opposite for RR. They don't have Black Hole, they don't have Slam, they don't have Wukong's for a bit. This is an opportunity for Adroit to play aggressive once more. They've got a Blink on Bensoi up and running as well. So that makes it a lot easier to jump in and get a big Ravage.
It is. That's gonna slow out CML. The opposite board though, Hustler getting jumped on now with the Ice Blast follow-up though. There will be an Ice Fade's Eating blocking out that damage. They will get nuts instead. Mac, I don't think he'll be able to catch up to Hustler, though he wants to try. But eventually we'll let that go, as they are just gonna push in the mid tier 2 tower instead. Why the hell not?
Yeah, they've still got that push potential coming out here. They've just been so focused in fights that they've kind of left that alone and straight to the high ground, 15, 16 minutes in.
They've got the Acceptor on the gyro with the Pugma.
Oh man,
I mean, they
that's
shouldn't
just...
be doing this, but they just feel like they can. And it's honestly something, it's kind of like a form of disrespect here to RR in a weird way, but well, they should be punished for this. It's just a matter of RR can do it. Cooldown will come out. Aether are going to latch in KYXY. Without the black hole, they can't really initiate here, as they don't have a Blink Dagger on Hustler yet either. And that tier 3 tower actually almost falls.
Yeah, that's not going to be lasting too long. RR immediately smoked though. They want to pick off some of the stragglers.
Alacrity. Hang out on the tree line for now. Oh, that is a nice circle being drawn on the minimap, right on where Alacrity is. We'll have help. There's a smoke in from RR. Just going to surround the Monkey King now. Adroit, smoke up on their own side as well.
Radiant are scanning.
KYXY could be an easy pick-off here for Mac if he wants to make the jump, but there is a black hole available. If the Remnant doesn't latch onto the Monkey. Meanwhile, Nuts getting jumped on here on the Oracle. They want to burst him down ASAP. Hustler is there as well. There's going to be a huge Wukong into an Echo Slam. They're trying to burst down the Void Spirit, and they do, but there's the Ravage. Coming out and connecting on 3. KYXY, he commits the black hole just on the Gyrocopter, but they do secure the kill on Natsumi. Now Alacrity being saved up by that false promise of Nuts. And CML is a bit of a sitting duck right now to Drew. They will find that kill on Alacrity still being chased down. He will survive. Boomy the one to die, and they will also find Bensoi. And that's going to be a full team wipe for the side of RR. They make it work. And suddenly Adroit might be regretting some of their decisions they made a couple minutes ago, Jump. They give another 2k gold lead away to the side of RR now, and Matt just going to jump in. He doesn't care. But Fate's Edict is going to block out all that magic damage from Matt.
Is under attack.
There's nothing to stop him from doing that anyway.
Yeah, it's you're at the point with Adroit where perhaps you take a step back, be cleaner initiation. KYXY has been getting a lot of valuable one-man black holes, and the timing with the Ravage is just not quite there. Bensoy needs to save it to cancel if it's going to come out, and they certainly need a few other things to come out as well. They need to be able to land their combo with the Ice Blast, and they should also kind of line up their positioning. It was just a bit too scattered there, and RR, despite not landing big black holes or even the best Echo Slams coming out from Hustler, just on one hero each, it's enough. They just hold and control these two heroes, isolate them, and clean up. So RR are finding ways to make their draft work, and the Adroit, well, they'll just go back to slow siege.
Yeah. I mean, you say it's slow, they're doing it pretty darn quick. The fortification is going to be there, but Boomy, nice deny out from KOXY, just denying the gold away from Adroit. All this time being bought has allowed True to get that Battle Fury up now on the Troll. And he's just going to rush straight into that BKB up next. You know, once the BKB's there, there's not really much to go through the Troll Warlord. Like, he can really just have a great team fight for a solid 10 seconds.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a problem, although they do manage to clean up Hustler, but you are reaching the point with Drew where he can be a bit ridiculous. I think there are still issues to worry about, but as long as that charge is still pretty fresh, I think for the next 4 or 5 or so fights, he is going to be able to get the damage out. And Adroit, they're going to need to find another way to deal with that troll.
The road shot. We can't go high ground all the way. It means we need to make this. Adroit will happily be able to take this Aegis away from RR. That game 1, I don't believe we even saw an Aegis being dropped. The first Aegis of the series here, all the time Adroit. In fact, did we see an Aegis? I can't remember now.
It was just so fast. Like, I can't even recall. It was ridiculously fast. I don't think they managed to fit an Aegis in there. They were just dominant and kind of domineering. Although they could have. It's just... It flew by way too quick, Mike. Yeah.
We'll look back at it. Top tier 2 tower. I'm going to start being forced in by Adroit. No contest here from RR. They're trying to force in that 1 tier 2 tower, which they can do so, but they're probably going to lose a lot of tier 3 tower damage. In fact, no, Adroit won't bother trying to push there. They're going to go for the defense attempt. Mac is TP'd in, he's currently by himself. RR, though, believing he does have backup, will not try to make a jump onto that Void Spirit. Instead, they'll just leave him be.
Yeah, and again, this is time for both sides to try to find some farm. You do have the BKB up and running on Natsumi first. So he has the additional protection that the BKB affords him. Still have to worry about the black hole. I think KYXY understands, even if it's just Natsumi, that is enough to give RR a bit of an edge.
We're just gonna go off that mid rats now, right? Experiment to be pretty nice down to Drew. Now Matt will jump in. Natsumi just looking to keep going. Because he feels so safe with that Aegis and BKB. Not to mention Boomy just continues to heal you up with that life frame of the Pugma.
Yeah, that's pretty silly just how much sustain they have. They will be forced back as their bot lane was being shoved in by Alacrity. So not quite being able to fully commit, and he might be able to punish Boomy here.
Though, like, you've got Decrepify on Boomy, and Alacrity doesn't have BKB or anything like that. It'd be great if he could. I don't think he even bothers to make the jump, he just tries to clear the wave again. Meanwhile, there is a BKB up on KYXY now, so no way to actually cancel the black hole if he does land a big black hole. He is going for that blink next, and that could really be game-changing, but he might have to use it pretty darn soon as Adroit they've smoked up, running into the dire Jungle now, straight into Hustler, who will just blink out there to KYXY, pops his BKB, gonna try and fight this out. Midnight hold place there as well, and he's just gonna go for a TP. Now a bounty has been placed on the Earthshaker's head. He is out of there.
Yeah, it's not the best first BKB use from KYXY. He used it to TP on. I mean, of course, you're forced to, but there's a bit of a down period now where you won't have the BKB black hole, and you're gonna lose your racks in that time.
That they will. What? Down through his fourth battle trance. He will find the first life of the gyro. Now you might want to use the black hole just on this gyro. Natsumi though, he's going to BKB up and walk away through. Going to be in huge trouble. He does have the false promise to save him though. KY with the midnight pulse, but what a ravage coming out, connecting on everybody. The Bishop not going to help Hustler. Oh, Echo though, it might, but no, there's not enough follow-up. He dies to his own Echo.
Oh man.
It was
that
just
hurts.
It's just a desperation echo slam, and yeah, it just doesn't work out.
That's gonna. Yeah, it really is, and that's gonna leave the rest of their defense in shambles. The bright side here for RR, bot lane is not gonna be pushed out because they still have a tier 1, but everything else is still kind of fair game. Although I guess they are a bit too low, and they'll just opt to reset. It's just 1 Rax for now, going out for Adroit.
They're trying to find Liquipedia on the way out. Like Ben Floyd main side here, being left alone. No, he has a Yule Scepter apparently. Dallas, Hustler, oh, Kraken Show actually taking off the stun. He didn't miss the Fisher, but ultimately will die anyway.
Yeah, it's
Well, they found a tie, but you've got an Aghanim Scepter now on Mac Jones, because getting harder.
That's gonna be a really big turning point for Adroit, and this is a massive spike for the Void Spirit, and we've seen it time and time and again. Once you have that Ags, the silence is a bit ridiculous, so you've got a tool now to break up the fights from RR. You're gonna have to be really weary of that pickup, and you do have certain things coming out as well. Natsumi is saving up for the Satanic and a Maelstrom, so you're gonna have those up and running in a relatively quick time span, and they do smoke up as well.
Down to that bot tier 2. Yeah, there's still tier 1 now there. So just take these ancient stats off the side of RR. BKB now will be up on Alacrity.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's
Don't know how much it's really going to do here. It's definitely useful up against that AA, but seeing how much damage Natsumi is doing, the real concern.
Yeah.
I still think RR have a really good chance of winning a team fight, but it's so reliant on landing that black hole.
Yeah. They need KYXY to step it up, and the issue is he doesn't have a blink yet. So he's gonna have to wait for that, and they have been kind of reluctant to launch it in their high ground defense. They do manage to trade a tower though, but now you're sitting with no outer towers left for RR. They're in a much tougher position.
Bide their time here. They force that tier 3, the top wave out was being pushed in by RR. Hustler gonna wait in the tree line, see if he can find himself an easy pick off. He will have the help of Alacrity there as well. And now Boomy, the Crepify on Drew, forcing the BKB charger.
Ooh.
There's 9-second charge being expended there to make sure he doesn't die to the Pugna.
Yeah, that's not ideal. That's going to leave him a bit more vulnerable in the middle of these fights. And again, Adroit just walk up the high ground, do a lot of damage to the tower. Nothing to really stop them. This is not much commitment from them to get the damage out as well.
you've got to say panic there on Natsumi as well to make matters worse, although they do lock him up. Now KOA's what does commit the black hole. That's one way to take him out, but the partner is going to hit him up through this. Now Natsumi just running away. Ravage is there from Adroit, connecting on everyone in the back line. Still they're fighting back RR. They buy back on that Earthshaker. Hustler going to make his way back into the team fight. Matt trying to run away. Nice fish run up from Hustler. Just getting the stuns down. Echo as well. Just to ensure they can secure this kill. And ultimately it wasn't the greatest fight for RR, but they hold on. And that's all that matters right now for them.
Yeah, they definitely do hold on to their bot Rex. They managed to find enough gold to give Drew his basher up as well. So there's more damage and more control coming out on our troll. It's just that Adroit at this point aren't really pushed back, and Alacrity.
Rather boomy. He got fished up and Natsumi gonna run into Hustler. Ice Blast is just perfectly playing. Hustler's just dead. Homing missile, just gonna give him a bit of a tap. Really Drew though, he does find CMO on the AA, now Natsumi getting forced to just find. Call down is there onto 3 heroes. He still has a Satanic but doesn't have Flak Cannon right now. But this will be a huge pick-off if they can get it. Nice boundless strike. Travel Spring as well, but Natsumi has the BKB. Satanic popped as well. Still running away here. And now Matt will come back in and start the team again. They will find two straight off the bat. Alacrity still fighting back with his own BKB. Natsumi just won't die though. Jabrepify comes out with the life drain. And poor Alacrity will die. This gyrocopter is just unkillable.
Yeah, they've just really dedicated a lot to keeping him alive, Natsumi, and it's just so hard to take care of it. Like, the fight lasts long enough that Boomy's back to give him the life drain once more, and now they can just go high ground. No black hole, no slam to worry about, nothing to stop them from taking these objectives.
Why literally nothing? They can buy back on the monkey, the Oracle Enigma, but there's just no point without the full team. And even then, no Echo, no Black Hole. They've got about 20 seconds till those are up. Luckily for them, they will have a chance at fighting back with all those ultimates, as the side of Adroit are going to back out now. But there are only really 1 Rax left for this RR side. You know, at this point, if I was the side of RR, I'd be really telling KYS, just take all the farm on the map right now. Take whatever you can get. Just get the Blink Dagger. It's the only chance they have of winning the big team fight they need.
Yeah, they really need it up and running. They do smoke up. I think they know the rush is being taken, so they want to kind of fight inside that pit.
With Adroit, they saw the smoke. Yeah, they hadn't observed what actually scouting out the smoke. Now,
Alacrity, no.
Down, Alacrity, he can't die like that. He'll buy back immediately, but now to step in, there's a Ravage as well onto 2. KOX1 pops the BKB Black Hole, but it's not going to do enough. Maybe he will with Drew. Can it? The Light Ray keeping him alive? No, they can't kill him off. Drew still going here onto the Void Spirit. They do kill him off, but now the buyback is there from Matt. Alacrity trying to come in. They'll find CML. Now the time's going to be in trouble, but here comes that buyback from Matt. Echo committed on the Time Hunter. This is a support time though. And now Matt may feel comfortable just going back into his own doing. That's exactly what they'll do. Drew is in huge trouble right now on that troll, and he is probably going to die. As Alacrity, with the buyback, throwing out the Wukong's command with the BKB. But they can just walk out of it and apparently just jump back in here. Ben Soy just doesn't care. They fight him in his own arena, and he will lose.
Ooh, yeah, it's,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, it's 80 seconds without the monkey. You don't have Black Hole, you don't have Slam. That might be it.
Without the troll as well.
Yeah, it's
you just got to throne.
Yeah, that they do.
Alright, well, Adroit just going to go ahead and take it. I guess they'll go for another kill onto KYXY, who's dragging things out a bit here for his team. Doesn't have the Black Hole though, can only really spam Midnight Pulse. They are going to get Megas and the Tier 4 just at the same time, just in case. But Matt just jumping in with that double silence for the rest of Drain going to be there on KYXY, but he will survive through it, but Boomy's not done. He wants the Fountain Dive this. The Ice Blast, not really on point, but they are going to find KYXY just before the game ends.
Oh man.
That'll be it. In fact, they're going for more now. Just keep diving that Fountain through, trying to fight back, but not Sumi. He's just fine, and the GG has finally been called. Adroit will win this series 2-0. And unfortunately, John, they go 0-4 today. Not a great way to start off day one.
No, definitely not. We've seen them struggle for a while. It looks like